Hi you guys, welcome back to my channel. Well, first off, I just want to say thank you to everyone who subscribed to my channel since the last two videos that I did. I want to say thank you to everyone who commented and said that my video was helpful. Like 100% I appreciate that. And good luck to everybody that has applied to Amazon. And I do want to apologize because one particular person, asked me when I was going to do my next video. And I said, oh, like this Sunday. And I think that was probably like 2 or 3 weeks ago. And I never did it. So yeah. So a lot has happened since my last video, which was me doing my training. So, oh my gosh. It's just so much. So I'm just going to try to put everything together without it being confusing. So I'm not gonna do like this week, that week type of thing because it's been so long. I'm not even sure the timeline. So for starters, I just want to say that working, like when I did the training, I felt like, okay, like I know like everything, this and this and that. But training and then actually working at Amazon for, I'm guessing I was like been there for like 6 weeks now. It's a huge, huge difference. Oh my gosh. So for starters, pretty much like my group, like my training group, the people who I came in with, everybody left except one girl who was a previous Amazon employee or temp employee or whatever. So that was a bummer. But I ended up finding new people to talk to, so it was all good. So, all right. So I told y'all at first for my training I worked 10-10-10, but my original shift was really at a 12-hour shift. So the week after training, I was scheduled to work my 12-hour shift, but they have, I'm not sure, it's a certain word that they call it, but I'm not sure what the word they use, but it's like you can leave early. So basically when you do stand up, they tell you how many units you have to pick, and if they reach a particular, I guess I would just say threshold. I don't really know what word I'm looking for. Once they reach that threshold and it's like they're good on their units or whatever, they'll let you leave early. So the second week, we got to leave early like the 3 days that I worked. So I left at 4:30, 5:30, I think 5:45. And I told myself, I was just like, I really should stay because one, I need the money. And then I was just like, I should stay because to get my body used to working 12-hour shift. But I was just like, it's really not that serious. It's only 2 hours. Like, that's not anything. And then on top of that, it's just like, you'll be picking. But then you'll just see like everybody leave. And you're just like, why am I still here? And then it will just be like, hold up, like, are you leaving? All right, I'm going to leave too. But don't be a follower. But anyways, it was just one of those type of situations. But not only that, it's just that I got so spoiled from leaving at how you say it? I got so spoiled from leaving at 5. It's just like I could not stay till 7. It was just like I'm ready to go home. So I ended up leaving early that whole week. And then it was a particular week, I think it was probably the next week after that, I thought that we were going to be leaving early again. But I think it was like the week before 4th of July. And so they didn't let us go. We had to stay our whole 12. When I tell y'all, I thought I was going to die. Like, just when I thought 2 hours wasn't a big difference, like a 12-hour shift really matters, compared to a 10. Like, my body was hurting. I was just, like, sanity wise, I was so ready to go. So anyways, it was around that week, I was talking to people and they were just like, man, like, I'm ready to go. I left early the other day. I left at 3. I couldn't make it past 5. And I'm just like, y'all, like, it's not that serious. And then like people just like, man, I'm leaving. I was like, come on, like, this is like the most easiest, well paying, simplest, manual labor job like there is. Like, it's not that serious. So I was trying to like uplift them and throw shade at the same time because I didn't want to get left. But they left anyway. It didn't work. So that was that. I had Prime Week, which I actually think was like 2 weeks before that. I had Prime Week. Prime Week, I worked Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, and Saturday. And my body was hurting worse than what it was when I was doing training. But the good part about it is that I feel like it worked me up to the point where I could like do overtime without a problem. One thing that I can say is that a lot of people were saying how it takes like months for your body to get used to like the pain and stuff. And I think they mean that as in like every morning when I wake up, I'm in pain. I get out of bed like an old lady. I can barely walk. I'm limping. And it's so weird because when I get out of my bed, it's like I can't feel my feet be hurting. Like I can't walk. I'll be limping, but it'll only last for like the 10 minutes. And then when I, get ready to go to work, I'm good. But then when I leave work, my feet start hurting again. So like, I don't know. I don't hurt on the shift, but I pretty much hurt like any other time I'm not working. So I think that's what they mean when I think that's what the people mean when they say it takes months for your body to get used to working. Let's see. A couple of pointers. Dehydration is real. I experienced that. So one thing I want to say is, and I said that like on my first video, how to do it was just like, don't think you could just come in here drinking soda, this and this and that, and think you'll be fine. When I tell y'all, okay, so it was 1 week, I believe, probably like not the week after my training, but the week after that, I literally had to choose between sleep or food, and I chose sleep. So I didn't wake up early enough to get food because I was just too tired. So don't ever do that. I felt like I was about to pass out. It was just really, really bad. So don't not eat. One thing that I realized is that eating cereal versus eating any other food, like fast food, like Wendy's or chicken, anything like that, I feel that it makes you sluggish, it makes you heavy, and I also feel that it doesn't last. So I feel that when you eat cereal before you go into work, it'll hold you over until lunch, and it's lightweight and like it doesn't make you feel heavy. So I just feel like you should eat cereal before going into work, regardless if it's night shift or morning shift. Drinking water. I did drink water for the time that I was there, but at the same time, when I would go into work, for the majority of the time for a long period of time, when I always came to work and when I got off of work, I would always go to Starbucks and get me a venti strawberry refresher. And I did that, like pretty much like that was my morning and my evening routine. And so even though I was drinking water, it's like when you drink so many caffeinated drinks or whatever, and you drink a little bit of water, it kind of defeats the hydration purpose. So yeah, like just drink lots and lots and lots of water. And one thing that I would say is I did have bottled water with me, like my first 2 weeks that I was there, including training. But then I was just like, there's no point in me bringing water. Like, they have water cooler stations. Like, I could just drink water from there when I'm thirsty. But the only thing is, if you have a bottle of water with you, regardless of whether you're thirsty or not, you're just going to drink that bottle of water just to kill time. Like, just to take a break for picking, or just to not pick for 1 second, you're going to drink some water. So always bring a bottle of water with you, and you don't even have to go out and buy water bottles. Just recycle a water bottle or the actual water bottles that you buy from the store. Just fill it up, be cheap, and fill it up at the water cooler station. Like, that's what I do. You know what I'm saying? So just always stay hydrated. Those are the two things I want to tell you. Now I want to talk. I feel like I'm missing something. there are pros and there are cons. And I want to start with the pros before I go to the cons. I still feel the same way. I still like Amazon. Like 100%, my body be hurting, but my check be looking good. And I really, really, really like the people. And one thing that I can say that I never felt, even with the mistakes that I made, I always felt respected or whatever. And I don't know, I just feel like I feel that some people who are qualified to do management positions, you know, they're there to get their paycheck. They probably play favorites, and that type of thing. And one of the things that I was scared about was like I don't have any warehouse experience, and I feel that me working at a warehouse for the first time is probably different from someone who already has warehouse experience. It's like a lot more intimidating. You know, it's a big environment, a lot of people, it's a big workplace. And when they told me that it was only 3 weeks of training, I was just like, that's it? Is that even enough? Like, are you kidding me? But it's just like, no, like, it's not one of those places where, okay, we trained you for 3 days, you should know what to do, like, okay, you're on your own. No, like, it is not like that. And that's one thing I can say that I really, 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 really like about Amazon. I freaking love my ambassador. Like, 100%, I freaking love my ambassador. Every day when I come in, he's like, okay, you know, how's it going? Is everything going okay? Did you run into problems? Is there anything I can help you with? Do you have any questions? You know, what's your rate? All right, your rate looks good. You know, keep it up. Like, every single time, like, every day, that is what I get from my ambassador. And I love, like, the one-on-one conversation. And so it's like they train you, but it's like they don't leave you out to dry. Like, they're still there. And just to like know, like, I can talk to my ambassador about a problem, and the fact that my ambassador comes to check on me. And there was a lot of times I probably told him like 50 no's, but he still comes by and says the exact same thing. And I appreciate that, like, wholeheartedly or whatever, because it lets me know that, like, they actually care about you. Like, I feel like they care about me as an employee, they care about me as a person, and they're not just there to get a paycheck. They want to make sure, like, everyone is comfortable in the job that they're doing, and they don't want you to mess up, and they want you to feel comfortable if you're struggling with something. And that's what it's been since I've been there, and that's what I really, really like, because I feel that when you have people at a leadership position or in a management position, and they have a positive attitude, it just rolls off onto the employees, and it creates a better work environment. So with that being said, it goes verbal warning, written warning, write-up, and I think another write-up, and then review for termination. So I know some people that got written up, and now that I'm actually at the point where I'm supposed to have a goal and I'm held accountable, I'm not gonna lie, I can honestly see why, you know, some people probably quit, or some people say, like, it's a hard job. At the end of the day, working at a warehouse is not supposed to be easy. Let's get that straight. And I feel that Amazon is strict, but I feel like they're strict while being fair. And it's like they have the rules lined up, and they tell you what it is up front. So it's not like they're keeping anything from you. You know what the rules are up front, and that's what it is. And when you make a mistake, like, you're gonna be held accountable for your mistake, and I don't feel like there's anything wrong with that. So my first mistake was like probably 3 weeks ago. I could be wrong on the timeline. So I just came in fine. Like, I always have a positive attitude when I come into work, and this threw my mind, and it just bombed my whole day. Like, I'm a very emotional person, so when I just get like bad news, it just throws off like my work ethic, my whole demeanor, all of that. So I come in, My shift starts at 6:30. Like, my ambassador came to me like before 8. It was like 7 to 7:30, and he was just like, he said a certain word. I don't know what the word was, but it's a certain word. And I was just like, what is that? Like, scan the wrong item? And he was just like, no, because like you get everyone is on a list, and when you're on a list, it's just bad. So I was on a list, and he was just like, 25 items were missing out of your tote 5 different times. You said what? I was just like, no, he said 5 items was missing out of my tote 5 different times. That's what he told me. Y'all, I almost died. Like, I was just like, what? Like, what? Like, my tote? Like, y'all, like, that's just bad. Like, you don't even have to work there to just, like, that's bad. And he was just like, like, what happened? Like, were you tired? I'm like, tired? I ain't that tired to miscount no 25 items. Like, I honestly didn't know what to say. He wanted an explanation. So I just told him, like, that probably happened when I went to Palletland. And because, I've been working there for quite some time, and that week was the only week that I went to Palletland for about an hour. And this is, like, my track record that's coming back to me. And so he, like, broke it down to me and was just like, do you know what split totes is? How many totes did you have? Start with 6. You know what I'm saying? This and this and that. Trying to coach me to do better. But when he walked off, I was just like, hold up. 5 times 5, that's 25 items. Like, that's a lot of items. And I was just like, I didn't make 25 mistakes in Palletland. Like, for one, I know how to count. 2, I don't feel like I overfill my tote, so I don't feel like anything fell off the conveyor belt. And it was just one of those things that really suck. Like, I don't know, like, everyone hates making mistakes, and I do hate making mistakes, and I take everything seriously. And so for me to just do everything right, and then someone come back and tell me that there was something wrong, it's just like, it just hit my mind throat. So I was like extremely sad. Like, I was just so mad because it's just like, I thought I was doing everything perfect, and I like everything perfect, and I just feel like, how hard is it to scan an item and put it in the bin? Like, and it's just like, I don't know what happened. I mean, the stuff could have flew off the conveyor belt. I definitely know how to count. Like, there's no way I miscounted items. So I just don't know. Like, I was so upset. Like, so freaking mad. And so he was just like, he was nice about it, but at the same time he was serious. And he was just like, you got to be careful about that, because if this happened again, it could lead to a write-up, and that could lead to termination. So basically, that was my verbal warning. And that was one thing that I was just like, I'm not trying to mess up. You know what I'm saying? So, like, I was just so mad. Like, I was just so mad. Like, why did this happen to me? So, that was my first mistake. So then, it was last week, like, the week that just passed. My productivity coach came up to me, and he had, like, a piece of paper. And he was just like, I'm your productivity coach, you know what I'm saying? You weren't at 100%. So you get in trouble for not being at 100%. Now, like I told y'all, like, yes, I have good speed, you know what I'm saying? I'm real quick at the bins. But that's one of the cons about being a picker. It's challenging. Like, I'm gonna go back into it, but it's challenging because as a picker, no day is gonna be the same. So he came to me and said I wasn't at 100%. And so 100% means you're supposed to pick 100 units per hour, but on your scanner, it actually has to be more. You have to be at more than 100% in order for them to average out all the days that you work in order for your percentage to be at 100. So 100% is basically like how quick you are at getting so many units in an hour. So I was at 84% the week that he was right, the week that I was getting my written warning for. And then 2 weeks before that, I was at 107%. And I think 1 week I was probably at a 95. I'm not really sure, but I know for 2 weeks for a fact I was at 107%. I know another person that was at 95% and they got written up. So as a picker, if you're not at a 100%, it don't matter if it's 98.9, 99.9. If you are not at a 100%, you're getting written up. Well, you're getting a verbal, then you're getting a written, then you get written up. That type of thing. Like, that's how it goes. And that's crazy because 84% is really not bad. Like, 84% is good, but it's not a 100%. And that, it just has me throw it because one day can mess up your rate. Like, one day. Have not one good day, and that will just mess up your average, and you can get written up. So he was really nice about it. Like, and that's one of the things. It's just like I can't even be mad. Like, once he told me to sign, I was just like, okay, thank you, have a nice day. Like, he was nice about it. Like, there's some people, some places, and some jobs, they can be rude and snotty with it. Like, oh, okay, you're getting written up because of this and this and that. Here, sign. Like, no, it's just like he actually felt bad that he had to come talk to me. Like, he was just like, I'm here because you weren't at 100%. You know what I'm saying? And then he asked me, he was just like, is there anything that you're struggling with? Do you have any questions? And I told him, I was just like, I don't have a problem. There's nothing that I'm struggling with. It's just consistency. You could look at my track record. 6:30 to 12, I'll be on it. After lunch, that second half, it just goes downhill from there. So the pro is I really like the people. I feel like they respect me as a person and employee, and I feel like they really care. It's never like, oh, you did this, this, and this, and that. Every time my ambassador talks to me, or even with the productivity coach or in general, it's always like, is everything going okay? Is there anything that you need help with? This and this and this and that. And that's what I like. Like, in any, not just Amazon, in any workplace. Like, I feel like that's how it should be. You know what I'm saying? I don't feel like they trying to like hurry up and get you out. I feel like they want you to do better, and they want to have open communication with you. So that's the pro. Like, I just love the people in general. I love everybody. I feel like they respect me. As a picker, it's challenging because it all depends on your day. I could work Thursday and I can get multi quantity picks. And what I mean by multi quantity picks is like, it could be an Echo Dot and they say pick 10 of these. It could be Amazon Fire, pick 5 of these. When you get multi quantity picks, that ups your rate because most of the time what you're in that bin for, you're pulling out 5, 10, however many items at that same bin all at once, versus going from one bin, picking one item, going to one bin, picking another item, going to another bin, picking one item. You're doing multi-quantity picks, which is going to up your rate, and you're going to make your goal faster. As a picker, your goal is 600 units per quarter. 600 units per quarter is 600. Before lunch, I'm supposed to get 600. So 6:30 to 12, I'm supposed to have 600 units. 12:30 to the end of my shift, I'm supposed to have 600 units. I don't have all the questions. I just work there. So one person might ask, okay, well, what if you leave early? Like, when they get you to leave early? Honestly, I don't even know. I don't know if that counts or not, which I should probably find out. But honestly, like, I'm not sure how that works. So I'm not really sure. So yeah, you can have a multi-quantity pick. One day you might have, I don't know, out of 1,000 bins, you might have 10 bins where you have to do a missing item, where you have to scan every single thing in that item. And it could be freaking 40 gift cards, 10 electronic devices, like 10 remotes. It could be 5 Echo Dots. You have to scan everything in that bin. That takes up time. There are times where you're gonna be on aisle 100 and you're gonna pick out one item, and then it's gonna send you all the way to the 200 to pick out another item. Then it'll send you all the way back to the 100. That's more footwork. That's taking up more time. So that's what I'm saying. As in, being a picker, no day is gonna be the same, and it's gonna be harder for your rate to stay consistent. So when you have days like that, it's just like you're gonna have to have more speed. And like I said, first shift is always easier than the second shift, the second half of your shift. So that's what I told the guy. I was just like, you know, how many problems is just staying consistent. Um, so now that I've actually been working there, I think it's like 6 weeks, maybe 7, or maybe I'm going on my 7th week. I can see, like, it's easy, but it's challenging. So I don't know. And the thing about it is, honestly, I feel like regardless of what job you get at Amazon, it's always going to be a con to it. I know stowers, I talk to stowers that actually pick. Not all the time. They're stowers, but they do pick. I'm not sure how that works or whatever, but they do. Some of them have picked before. And one dude said that the pick rate, the stower rate is higher than the pick rate. So even stowers have a certain rate. And if you don't make your rate, you get written up. So, I mean, I just honestly feel like I don't think there's a such thing as what position is easier. I don't think one position ups another position. I feel that is more so of the person. But I feel like regardless of what position that you're in, it's going to be a con to it. I don't know. I'm still there. Basically, my next whatever mistake I make, whatever it is, I'm gonna get written up. And I only have 3 weeks left. So I mean, I'm not really worried about it, but at the end of the day, like, I don't want to get written up. Like, I didn't even want a written warning. Like, I don't know. It's really not that serious, but like, I'm a really over dramatic person, and I mean, I don't think anything, like, it's not like bad, but it's just like, I don't want to get written up. Like, oh my gosh, I just don't want to do that. But from what I hear, it's just like, if you want to get retrained, they can retrain you and that type of thing. But I mean, just try it out. Everyone has a different experience. Anything that can go wrong will go wrong. I mean, I feel like I was the most careful, observant while working there. And, you know, I had a minor slip up with, you know, my totes, 25 items missing out of my tote. You know, so I mean, anything can happen. Like, anything can happen. But like I said, like, like, that's the only bad thing that happened to me. But I think maybe I think it depends on what Amazon you work at, but I think really it's like the rules and stuff get to people. But at the same time, like, I'm not mad at the rules because I could understand, like, Amazon, the warehouse, and they're paying you a good, decent amount of money. They just can't not have rates and not have rules and not enforce these rules, because then employees be getting over and just collecting a paycheck. So honestly, the rules are strict, but I feel like in a way it's pretty fair. You know what I'm saying? So I think I'm just trying to think. I feel like I had more to say, but I don't know. I think that's about it. You know, I'm still there. I only have 3 more weeks left. I already put in my rent money, so you know, I'm pretty good. I just hope that, you know, I can last, and I'm not trying to get written up. Like, I don't want that. I'm not sure, which I'm gonna actually find out. Like, I'm gonna ask this when I come back. If you get written up, but you don't get terminated, like, if I come back, because I'm leaving for school and I want to come back. And they actually they went around this week and asked everybody who are college students, like, if we work with your school schedule, can you still stay? So for that, I'm not sure if you work an actual shift or you just have to work a minimum hours and you could just work any type of shift that you want. But that's what it sounded like to me when you asked me. But I'm gonna ask, like, if you do get written up but you leave and come back, is that write up still on your track record, or is it like, no, like, you're a new employee, you start back over? Because I actually want to do fall break, because I think that's a week. I want to work at Amazon, and then I definitely, like, 100% want to come back for not fall break. winter break, so December. And but I do know that you have to start the whole process over again. So even though I would have been working for 10 weeks altogether, and I leave and I'm coming back 2 months later, I would still have to do the whole entire process, reapply to the temp agency again, go in for another drug test, the video, still do another training. Like, regardless, you have to do the training over again because they have new rules and that type of thing, and you might learn something different based off of who's teaching the orientation, that type of thing. So I'll have to do that whole entire process over again. But it is what it is. So yeah, I mean, that's all I have to say. And like I said, thank you for watching my previous videos. I'm glad it was helpful. Good luck to everyone that's applying for Amazon, and thank you for everyone who's subscribed to my channel. So I'm not going to post another video. I forgot to say at the beginning. I'm not going to post another video just because I only have 3 more weeks to work at Amazon. I feel that I got everything. I feel like I said everything that there was to say, that I have to say and know about the company to... I'm sorry, I'm not making sense. But I feel that, you know, I've been there long enough to say all that there is to say, to inform y'all of Amazon. And I don't feel like anything's gonna happen in 3 weeks. If I get written up or something like that, then, you know, it is what it is. But I think I should be okay. But yeah, this is gonna be my last video. And if I come back for peak season, you know, I might post a video because people say it's pretty crazy. But other than that, like, that's like the end of like my Amazon vlog. So thank you for watching, and good luck.